Hi, good Friday to you, and thank you so much for joining us. A lot to cover tonight. A late-breaking accident, a school bus accident in Magoffin County that had me out of the office just until a little after 5 o'clock, so bumping a couple of other reports that I can hold off until next week in order to get that in and get you all the information there. But several arrests, a lot of cocaine, methamphetamine arrests. Also, what one viewing area city government is looking at in regards to upcoming changes at the end of this month in regards to the alcohol laws and how they may affect businesses. It's a decision that was before them, one that I believe will be before all local governments. We'll have that, the arrest, and some accidents, and a lot to talk about weather-wise. Well, before we go into the forecast for your weekend, here's a little food for thought, a little comparison for you on our date in weather history. Back in 2010, we were just winding down the end of a 2-day record heat wave. The Jackson Weather Service office logging 95 and 97 degrees, respectively, on the 10th and the 11th of August back in 2010. And on this date, today's date, in 2010, they also recorded a record maximum low. Nighttime lows were 72 degrees, which is probably closer to the daytime high than what the daytime high was in 2010. So that's by comparison. Just a quick summary weather-wise, it's still going to be unsettled tonight into the first half of your weekend. We're going to clear up, and then we'll go on throughout the rest of your updated forecast. There has been some changes made and to be expected, and I'll tell you what you can expect if you have any weekend plans. Local headlines and all the other news that I mentioned and more in just a second. Only a couple of other reports. This one out of neighboring West Virginia, where Governor Jim Justice says that he has presented a plan, a proposal to President Trump, a homeland security plan worth $4.5 billion a year that may have, well, if you want to use this as any sort of an indicator, some possibility of passing to some degree. It was a plan that he actually presented to the president before he switched parties just days ago, as President Trump and he announced during a rally in neighboring West Virginia. Just a few details that I have time to share tonight, but the plan, according to the governor, would put tens of thousands of coal miners back to work, and not just in West Virginia, but in the Appalachian coal fields as well. He says specifically in one press release that keeping our eastern coal fields and our miners working is critical to national security. All it is going to take to shut the power grid down to the entire eastern half of the country is a bomb being placed at a key natural gas pipeline or on a major highway artery to the west. He says that his proposal would guarantee and ensure that eastern United States coal will be available to keep that power grid up and going in the event of any type of a disaster, natural or otherwise, or emergency shutdown that would, of course, have any serious or long-term impact on our power plants that will be using natural gas or other, of course, resources. Jumping from one natural to another, here's something else you can do if you're planning on taking in the solar eclipse. I'll tell you more about it later when more time allows, but the University of Pikeville says that they are giving everyone a very unique chance to view the total solar eclipse, a celestial event, of course, that we're all anticipating. From 1 to 2 on that day of the 21st, UPike and the Kentucky College of Optometry faculty are hosting a series of brief presentations regarding the science behind a total solar eclipse, eye protection, and other pertinent topics. The presentations will be held on the 7th floor of the Health Professions Education Building, and a telescope with a solar filter will be available in Benefactors Plaza to watch from 2 to 4, along with other solar viewing glasses as well to view the phenomenon. In the region, of course, we are expecting the eclipse to come into view right around 1 o'clock, with 2:35 being the peak, and for us of right around 94% totality. So another event, and of course this on the heels of the Magoffin County school system, all schools buying glasses for all of their students, many other schools canceling for the day throughout eastern Kentucky and elsewhere, but everyone making plans one way or the other to view the solar eclipse. Make plans to be right back as our local headlines start next.
To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Much more than diesel specialist, Black Smoke Performance is turning out excellent auto body collision paint and repair results with free quotes and estimates on everything from insurance jobs to that ding you got in the driveway, custom lift kits, bed liners, winches, and accessories, and full diagnostics and repair on anything gas or diesel, from brakes to fluid changes to major auto repair. If you want it fixed, lifted, painted, customized, or just maintained, just call on the team at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 100 May Drive, or 349-8785. Stop by the seasonal shop for the two biggest events of the season and find all the help, gifts, and decor you need with baby and wedding registry, something extra special for the new arrival or that little one turning one or more, and wedding registry, ideas, and planning for everything from the ceremony to gifts to the home. And the seasonal shop also has thoughtful ways to honor memories of loved ones lost, with personal and gravesite decorations that they'll gladly deliver to our local funeral homes. Find something to cherish all your memories at Fraser's Prater Drugs seasonal shop in downtown Sagersville. Here's a new list of specials at Gateway. This Chevy Intervan runs great, cold AC, $49.90. This 2015 Commander 500 Camo ATV just traded for 72 miles. As new, save thousands. And a pair of RAV4s. This 2010 all-wheel drive, excellent price and payment. And this 05 RAV4 all-wheel drive, $5,900 or best offer. This 06 Crew Cab is a 4x4 and thousands below book at just $10,900. And most payments under $200 a month at Gateway Motors in Sagersville.
We are all human. Because we're not perfect, we tend to make mistakes. Unfortunately, some mistakes are severe and carry more consequences than others. If you have been hurt in a car wreck, a truck wreck, or because of someone's mistake, reckless or careless behavior, you deserve help with your medical expenses, lost wages, and serious permanent pain and injuries that you have been made to suffer and will continue to suffer for the rest of your life. If you have been injured, I can help. I'm attorney Don Wayne McFarland. Call me and let me go to work for you. 349-9000.
I take you now to the scene of a school bus crash following brief coverage of a single car accident early this morning. They were actually both minor and or non-injury accidents, I'm glad to report, and that's certainly always a good thing when you're referring to a bus with kids and a driver on board being involved in a crash.
The Sagersville Fire Department, Ambulance Service, and law enforcement responded to the first accident earlier this morning. Fortunately, turned out as well to be a minor to non-injury accident. The female driver refused medical treatment at the scene. She experienced some sort of brief medical condition that caused her to hit a light pole near the Mi Hacienda restaurant. The airbags did deploy, one to the extent that it actually flipped up the panel of the dash and did some serious damage to the windshield, but she, once again, was uninjured, and no other vehicles or individuals were involved. This information is still a bit preliminary, as I was only able to stay on scene for a few moments, but this accident involved bus 219 and a passenger car on a fork off of Coon Creek. Magoffin County Rescue Squad Captain Carter Connolly tells us more.
911 toned out rescue squad, SO, and ambulance service for a school bus accident on the Stevens Fork of Cow Creek. Initial call was at head-on, so I initially put our guideline for school bus accidents into effect, which immediately after we get called out, the incident commander, which is usually me, makes contact. We do have the Board of Education frequencies in our radio, and I made contact with the bus driver, got an incident report. He was advising all kids were okay so far. They were all in their seat. It was a minor collision, very limited contact. And so then we still proceeded on as accident, but knowing that there was no real serious injuries at the time. Ambulance service, I had some EMTs get on the scene also and did assessment on the kids. They were fine. And at this time, the ambulance and the school personnel are taking the names, and we're kind of debriefing right now.
Just the third day of class, and this accident happened, but fortunately, it was the best case scenario. The female driver also refused medical treatment on the scene. The bus was coming out of Stevens Branch, but still had under 10 on board. That includes the driver as well. And a little irony here, as this was a focus of the rescue squad's meeting.
We had a drill last night, a training session on school bus accidents at squad building. So today we put that into effect, and it works. And but luckily we did not have to do any triage, and all the kids were safe.
Once again, that was Bus 219. All the parents and respective caregivers have since been contacted. I believe anywhere from 4 to 8 kids. Don't have the exact number on the bus, but once again, no injuries reported whatsoever. And what was just a narrow gravel road where it appears as though both vehicles attempted to avoid the collision, but were just unsuccessful. You can see the damage done to the car and to the bus here. I believe the bus was able to move under its own power after the accident scene was cleared.
Up next, the Louisa City Council earlier this week addressed something that I believe all local governments will be addressing between now and the end of the month in some form or fashion. They don't necessarily have to. They can just let it go. But many, like the Louisa Council, are going to have something set in place in regards to a change in the Kentucky alcohol law by the end of this month or around August the 29th. A significant change in licenses for alcohol sales in regards to who can apply for them. It no longer has to be centered around how much food an establishment sells in order to get a license to sell beer, wine, and mixed drinks. But
the city's attorney, Bud Adams, went through with the council the memo that he had received from the State Alcoholic Beverage Center informing of some changes in liquor laws effective on the 29th of this month. It establishes that sales no longer have to be based on 50% food sales of their total income or revenue before an establishment can serve drinks, mixed or otherwise.
I checked into it, and the mayor and I sat down and talked about it, and that is, can we prohibit it if we want to prohibit it, or do we have that choice? I checked into it, and it's really the city's choice. We can amend our ordinance to either allow it or not allow it. The reason that was not addressed in the original ordinance was because that was not an option when we initially went wet. So I need to know from council, I need instructions from council to amend the ordinance one way or the other. So I'm throwing that on the floor now for discussion and vote.
Yeah, I have a question because it's just a little confusing to me. So how is that different than the restaurants that now sell like Toro Loco? I mean,
You don't have to have food. I can open up a bar.
Okay, I see what you're saying, okay.
I can open up a bar, or I could open up a golf course, sell it with a drink. I guess even a beauty shop could sell wine, and women could have their hair done.
I've had inquiries about that.
About beauty shops?
Wow.
So
More like that.
it just lets you serve.
Turn these 3-hour hair.
It's not governed with the food sales. It's just, you can just sell it by the drink.
You're talking both malt beverage and mixed drinks, right?
Yeah, I assume.
Currently, the law says that an establishment, a business, must have 50% of their revenue generated by food and have at least 50 seats. And the city of Louisa right now, it was noted by the mayor and council, is currently sees in their city about $2 million a year in alcohol sales. But with all of that in consideration, they chose to, after a motion by Councilman Mitch Castle, to keep the statute and ordinance as it is. It was passed unanimously, meaning that the city of Louisa will leave it as it has been. And that was their prerogative. And that means that in order for someone to have a liquor license to sell drinks by the drink, that they will have to serve food. Now, this does not affect motels, any type of large festival, or any type of a large center or anything of that nature. Anything that generates revenue and tourism, as it is now, would not be included. But the vote was unanimous. I'll be right back.
August is hot, and so are the savings at Appalachian Wireless, where all smartphones are 50% off. Normally $149.99, now $74.99. Sizzle. The GS8 Plus, normally $249.99, now $124.99. Scorchin. Even the 64, 128, and 256 gig models, all 50% off. Volgetic. 50% off all smartphones while supplies last. 2-year agreement required. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless, an East Kentucky network company.
The only difference in these washers and mowers from new is the incredible low price. And the same goes for tools, electronics, jewelry, games, and more at Parkway Gun and Pawn, where they buy and sell gold and silver and loan cash every day on just about anything worth $1. Stop by on Parkway Drive or call 349-PAWN. Come by and check out this 2014 Jeep Compass 4x4, and come by and check out this luxurious, roomy, limited 2011 Town & Country. And this row of 2015 and 2016 Nissans and Fords and more, all like new, with low miles starting at $99.95. Check them all out at Broadway Auto Sales in Paintsville. Get your $10 tickets now for the 14th annual and perhaps biggest community day yet, featuring the incredible Rhonda Vincent and the Rage, and other headliners like the Dave Atkins Band, the Edgar Loudermilk Band with Jeff Autry, Toddy Preston and the Black Powder Express, and many, many, many more. And all the food, fun, games, and fabulous prizes that you can stand, all for just $10, and kids 12 and under, they get in for free. Community Day in the Ramey Park in Sagersville is Saturday, August the 19th. Parkway Pharmacy, now open earlier from 8 a.m. until 6 in the evening to better suit your schedule and lifestyle, and to help you get better and live a healthier life. And if allergies are bogging you down, they're armed with the very best in over-the-counter relief for adults and your children. Reach owner pharmacist Jesse Rudd and his assistant pharmacist Megan Castle and their staff at 8 o'clock in the mornings or at 349-4400.
Several arrests, not since I saw you last, because I only saw you briefly last night, being gone to move Lacey into Morehead State University yesterday. And I have to say on that note, because I have been asked by so many folks who are worried about me, and most of which were understanding because they had gone through it. Leading up to taking her to move in yesterday was weeks in the making, packing and planning, and then yesterday was just so hectic that it didn't have time to set in. But it was after I came in, did a quick 5-minute address last night for you folks, and pulled in the driveway and her car wasn't there, that my evening certainly did indeed fall apart, and has since been a little bit shaky, and a lot shaky at times since. It's certainly indeed hard to let them go, but proud of her nonetheless. With that said, now on to several arrests over the course of the last 2 nights. Traffic stops have netted arrests and charges dealing with cocaine, methamphetamine, and other drugs.
In the first report, Sagersville Police Officer Mike Nichols was on patrol on the Mountain Parkway during the time frame late at night for a course of a few hours, when several of the 24-hour businesses on the Parkway are doing their shift changes, and they request that law enforcement be in that area working the night shift. He was over the course of the past 2 nights. And about 11 o'clock on Wednesday, one of those traffic stops netted arrests on cocaine and methamphetamine charges. First, a vehicle stopped for expired tags was the one that resulted in the arrest of these 2 individuals. He noticed that the driver appeared to be anxious and questioned a Gary Cantrell. He was charged with DUI. He's not shown. But the passengers in that car, 36-year-old Michael Potter from Elkhorn City and 24-year-old Candy Johnson, also from Elkhorn City, were found to be in possession of cocaine and drug paraphernalia. After a consent to search by the driver, Nichols said that the driver had cocaine in his pocket after Nichols saw him with a crack pipe and then further questioned him. Potter had a pipe fashioned out of a metal ink pen and some wire mesh that he admitted to smoking drugs in. Potter also had 2 baggies of cocaine on him, and Nichols also found 2 baggies of cocaine in Johnson's purse, in a change purse. Potter was charged with public intoxication of drugs, possession in the first for the coke, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Johnson was charged with PI, public intoxication of drugs, and for being in possession of coke. That's a first-degree felony charge. A little later, around 2:18 Wednesday night, technically Thursday morning, almost in the exact same area, another traffic stop resulted in the arrest of 2 Floyd County people. After being questioned, 53-year-old Charles Robinson of Langley admitted to smoking crystal meth just prior to the stop at some point, and in a vial by his seat, Nichols noted that he found 4 baggies, all containing some degree or some amount of methamphetamine. It's being sent to the lab for confirmation, but that's believed what it is. His passenger, a Glemma Chandler, also had 4 baggies with some quantity of meth in her purse. She claimed that 2 of those were hers. She also claimed that Robinson owned or was to be in possession of 2 of them, to which he agreed and said that 2 of them were his as well. Robinson was charged with DUI, carrying a concealed deadly weapon which was found in his possession, possession in the first for meth, and reckless driving, which is what initiated the traffic stop. Chandler was charged with public intoxication, possession in the first for meth, possession in the first for opiates. She was said to have had 5 different kinds of medication on her, oxycodone, hydrocodone, and others. She also had some paraphernalia in her possession and was charged for it as well. And last night, from the same officer, around 3:17 this morning, technically, another meth-related arrest. A John R. Montgomery was a driver in a traffic stop that was charged with DUI, but it was his passenger, a Teresa K. Salyer, 42 of Prestonsburg, who Nichols found to be in possession of baggies with meth residue inside, needles also with residue believed to be meth, and Salyer was charged with public intoxication of drugs, possession of a controlled substance in the first degree, which is meth, also another felony charge of possession for the opiates, and possession of drug paraphernalia. A tire more than 25% low, about 8 pounds, makes you 3 times more likely, and worn-out tires 11 times more likely to be in a tire-related crash. Don't take your or their safety for granted. Come in for a free inspection, 6 months, no-interest financing, the best price and best selection at Conley Tire in Staffordsville.
Hi, I'm Attorney Jeff Lovely. At my law office, we're determined to offer you and your family outstanding, cost-effective, and responsive legal services. I can help you if you've been injured in a car wreck. I'll be in your corner if you have a DUI or other criminal charges. You can file bankruptcy and stop those harassing phone calls, or I'll fight for you and your children in divorce and custody cases. For all your legal services, contact me when it matters. In Syersville at 349-4522, and West Liberty at 743-1965.
Wanting you to have a healthier life means providing access to quality, affordable health care. And to do exactly that, Hope Family Medical Center offers full dental care with Dr. Pratt and his team, a pediatrician team of 3 doctors and nurses and moms, complete health care by family physician Dr. Kelly Pratt and nurse practitioners Mildred Sizemore, Gail Faria, Shannon Conley, and Heather Blair. Behavioral health services with Kimberly Davis, with in-house lab testing and results, in-house x-ray and pharmacy, and all the caring, knowledge, and experience that these medical professionals represent
at Hope Family Medical Center.
Yes, Logan makes the best truck bodies on the market, and they also have a fully stocked warehouse of dump body parts, PTOs, hydraulic pumps, hoists, anything you need to get back on the road. And they are a full-service steel and aluminum service center. They keep I-beam, channel, angle, pipe, round rod, rebar, expanded metal, sheet metal, and aluminum all in stock. And if you've got a big project, they do commercial manufacturing to your specs. Logan, since 1904.